daan. Ang buhay ay parang gulong, minsan pataas, minsan pababa, pero lahat tayo ay matatag. Samahan kami, damhin ang vibes sa bawat silipin ng mga buhay. May tawanan, may galit, pero higit sa lahat, ang layunin ay edukasyon, kaya't mapakatotoo at sipag. Usapang Samu't Sari, mga aral na kay saya. Baka may matutunan, kayo'y samahan na. Oscar, Reynold, Allen, si Aaron pa.
Okay, you'll have to forgive me because it's our first time going live on this platform. We'll be moving over to the other platform soon, but welcome to our first live podcast. Just bear with us a tiny bit as we figure out some technical difficulties, so do forgive us. But in any case, today we'll be having our very first episode where we'll be tackling the topic of how to handle your very own car rental business. So let me just switch my screen over to the other platform and we'll be good to go. We are the Liwaliw Travels live podcast for Samu't Sari. And let me introduce you to our hosts, Reynold and Aaron, and our guest today, Matthew de Dios. So please do introduce yourselves. All good, brother. Good morning to the U.S. and early morning in the Philippines. But wherever you're watching, live or replay, good morning, evening, day, or night to all of you. Welcome to the first episode of Sir Oscar Cesante's Samu't Sari with Friends. We have a really good topic today because it'll be how to make some money, business. So if you're looking for some extra income, if you're working or not, you're in the right place. We've got some good topics to talk about today, a great guest, and some things to learn. So, why don't you introduce our guest speaker today? Yeah, so our guest today is Matthew, our very first guest in our podcast. Perfect for our topic today on how to start in Turo, a car rental business with Turo. So first things first, let's introduce Matthew. The floor is all yours. Hello, my name is Matthew. I'm from California, USA, and I currently have a car rental business in Turo, similar to Airbnb, but for cars that people rent. All right. Thank you for agreeing to be with us for our first episode. So, as I said earlier, so please do excuse the scuff. It's our first time seriously doing this, and I'm sure that as we do more episodes, we'll just get better and better. So please do watch along and stay for the ride. We hope you look forward to seeing us grow. Yeah, and it seems like we have some chatters already. Hello to Hazel, Arnie, and Sue. Thank you for being with us for our first episode. And I can agree, it's hard when it's live. At least when we do videos, It's easy to cut things out and record. But when you're live, everything's recorded, even your mistakes. But no better way to learn, right? Which is perfect, I'd say, because when podcasting, you get the raw experience. So everything that happens online, when we're live, you'll see it all. So in any case, before we start, let's shout out our viewers with us right now. Nim Sila, thank you so much for watching. I don't see all of you, but don't worry. We know you're there. If you have any questions during the podcast, feel free to ask us. We'll be sure to answer them along the way. And we invite all our viewers to interact and help spread what we do. In any case, though, I'd love to ask you, Brother Reynold, I think we should ask Matthew what exactly this Turo is, the car rental business, since I can assume that he knows a lot about it since he's been doing this for 2-3 years, right, Matthew? Yeah, that's right, 2-3 years. So, let's just ask first, what is Turo for those who don't know? Tell us about what it is. For sure, Turo is an app for your phone. It also has a website. It's like an Airbnb for car rentals, exclusively for cars specifically. So, online only, right? It's just like a platform. It's literally an app. So, let me ask you then. How did you start? Where did you learn this? What possessed you to have a car rental business in Turo? Well, I would say I was always business-minded, especially here in California, but it's hard. You need a lot of money in the bank. You have to buy your own equipment, then rent out a space. It all just piles up. So I thought, what business can I start with what I have? Because that could be a good business. And the first thing that came to mind was an Airbnb. But I didn't want to risk buying properties than renting them out because it was during the pandemic. So there was no real way to know. Then I ran into Turo while searching, and I thought to myself that I have a car, so why not try it out? And yeah, I just watched some YouTube videos. I learned how to use the platform and use my own car for it. I was already using my car for deliveries, DoorDash, Uber Eats, like Grab in the Philippines, Food Panda, that kind of stuff. And my car, too, was really gas efficient. It was a Toyota Prius, and I knew I would save a lot just on gas alone because of it. So why not, right? That is a great origin story. So, next question. Is it easy to jump into? Because you said that you planned to start an Airbnb initially, but you found it risky since you had to buy properties. It was risky, right? So, do you think that starting with Turo, would you need a huge capital? Or let's say, here's the thing. You can't really be sure, right? Because I also tried Turo here in Canada. So I just want to ask if you would need a large reserve of capital, or would your own car be good enough to begin with when it comes to starting with Turo. Actually, I started this business with absolutely zero. No investment or money. But there are requirements in California, anyway, that you should keep in mind. Like needing a good credit score to get a vehicle, for instance. So that's what I focused on. My credit score, which I was able to use to get a car with zero down payment and nothing more. So basically, yeah, anyone can start without needing that extra capital. So let's say, Brother Reynold, I believe that Turo exists only for Canada and the US, if I'm not mistaken, with plans to expand to London, the UK, but I'm not too sure. Am I mistaken on that? Yeah, I believe there is Turo in Australia, though. No Philippines so far? No, but I think there's already an app that covers that there. So, right now, you're about to go 3 years with this business. Whoa, that's amazing. That's awesome to hear. So, right now, how many cars do you have? Around 5. And I'm trying to increase that to 7. Wow, that's nice. I actually have 7, but the 2 got totaled. So, yeah, it is what it is. Accidents do happen, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Yes, the risk you can encounter for this business. So, for the 5 vehicles that you have, just help me out here. Let's say that for one, how much can you make for one car that you have? Of course, Brother Reynolds, you have different needs for different cars. Bigger cars like SUVs need a higher rate, which means bigger earnings over time. So, but does it get rented out often? Oh, yeah, good question. So between a sedan and an SUV, what's the range of income for a month's worth of renting? Maybe if you play around with the price and depending on the season, like summer, for example, that's a busy season and people have places to be then. For holidays as well, but a minimum for a sedan in terms of income, maybe $600 or $1,200, give or take. On a sedan, right?